Uh, okay, perfect. Chapter 1, we have 4 subsections. First section, it is the basic introduction to statistics. Statistics is some kind of science, which means it is a very, tremendous area like mathematics. So in statistics, we organizing, analyzing, and finally interpreting data. So we are dealing with data, data that can be data or it can be data set or data sets. Okay. Anyway, we are dealing with data in statistics. Um, so don't think like okay data that is like which mean only numerical. No, the data can be numerical or non-numerical. Okay, both are working perfect in statistics. Okay, you will see what's the difference between numerical and non-numerical data and how we deal with those things. Okay. Okay. Uh, I'll tell you few areas that we are using statistics. Marketing or business cases. Most of the time, especially for the business, the companies need to figure it out their customer base. So they are doing something like we call surveys. Okay, they give some questionnaires to randomly selected customers and get their feedback. Okay, so it is a very basic way to collect some data. Then we can analyze and finally give a conclusion about those responses. Okay, and public health, especially public health, before they release a drug, they do some kind of test. There are many tests, but all of them they use statistics. Okay, like what is the accuracy of this drug, or what is the success probability? You will learn probability later. So that kind of things they are dealing with statistics. Uh, some cool stuff like very hot areas, bioinformatics, those kind of things. If we need to analyze our protein structures in our body, so we can use statistics. Those are not only mathematics, it is statistics because we need to, when we need to find some kind of difference between two different protein structures, we use some kind of correlations, get the numbers. Okay, what is the difference between these two, right? Something like that. So we create some kind of models. There are many models. So we create a model, then we feed that protein structure data into this model and get the output, comparison, whatever we can do after we get the results. Okay. And also very interesting applying area is image processing or image and shape analysis. Okay. For an example, when we scan something, let's say we are scanning the surface. Okay, we are scanning the surface like this, but the scanner, it doesn't know what is this. This is a table, but it doesn't know. It's like it can be like 2D or 3D. Okay, 2D picture or 3D picture. It is just uh, consist of millions of pixels. Okay, computer doesn't know what is that, just pixels. But if we need to identify, okay, after scanning this, we need to know, we know this is a table, but computer doesn't know. So we can run this scanning data into a model and try to approximate or try to get the shape of this. Simply, I have mentioned few shapes like left side box, you can see it is not perfect, but you can see it's some kind of animal, but they have different shapes. So we should train a model to identify, okay, it doesn't matter first one, second one, or third one. We should train our model to get this is a animal, or this is a dog. That's the result. Okay, we feed this. It doesn't matter the shape. We feed that shape into the model, and we should get the answer. Okay, this is a dog, something like that. Okay, same thing here. Shape. Uh, this is a vast area. Uh, this is actually very complex area. Okay, shape analysis, because shapes that can be changed according to the angle as well, right? Can you imagine this angle is much smaller than this angle? Okay, so shapes can be changed like that. So shape analysis, we have to consider angles, directions, their width, size, everything. Okay, so all these things we use statistics. Not only this, let me check whether I have. No, we use, there's a hot area like called data science, right? So that's the full of statistics. Okay, we create artificial intelligence model, or we call AI model. That neural network, we feed some inputs and get whatever we need. Okay, that's the idea. So that model, it based on statistics. So we have to do so many things to create that model. Okay, that's the core. Okay, so statistic is a very interesting area. It's not, I would say, it's not hard like mathematics, but we need math. Everything based on top of mathematics, but it is quite interesting. Okay. What is this? Uh, okay. Okay. First of all, when we are before we are dealing with the statistics, we should know what we are doing. Okay. So we should know what is our interest. Okay, which area we are interested in to deal with statistics. Okay, so we should in the first place we should figure it out, a group of interest. Okay, then information regarding to that group we need to collect. Okay, these are the details about this interesting group. Finally, we should decide which method do we need to use to collect data. Okay, data we can see everywhere, but we should properly identify how we collect this data. For an example, I have, okay, I'll tell you, I need to find the mean height of the students in Texas Tech University. Okay, Texas Tech University. But what happens if I select you guys only to do that experiment? It's biased, right? It's biased. So I should have a proper mechanism uh, to get those measurements. Okay, that should definitely it should be a unbiased selection. Okay. Uh, okay. So as I mentioned in my last example, if I need to find the height or mean height of the Texas Tech students, so we call the population is the Texas Tech University students. Okay, that's the uh, everything I need to consider. That's the simple word. That's the everything I need to consider. So I can measure each and every students in Texas Tech University, right? I can measure their heights, each and every student in the Texas Tech University, and get the mean, right? Easy. Uh, it is easy, but the problem is it is too big to measure. Like there are 45,000 approximately, let's say 50,000. So it is too much, right? I cannot go there and measure each and every height. So uh, it is some kind of time consuming, and also it is expensive, right? So what we have to do to avoid those problems, we try to get a small portion from that entire population. Okay, so if we have, let me draw this. If we have like a population, let's say this is my this is my population. This is my population. Okay, so this is too big to get the measurement, or too big to consider uh, as my data set. So what I'm doing is take a small portion from this. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Okay. Okay, this is my population. And this is my sample. Okay, so I'm selecting a portion from the, it should be a cross set. Okay, sample from the population, so that I can deal with that small portion. It can be like 1,000 students, something like that. Okay, so for this sample, we cannot select like, okay, this is my students. No, there should be, I mean, few things we need to consider when we are dealing with this sample, or when we are selecting this sample. This sample should be organized and described, and it should be analyzed. Okay, it's something like this. That sample should represent that particular population. Okay, for an example, if I need to measure the heights of TTU students, I should consider both male and female students, right? What happens if I select only male students? It is biased, it is wrong. So I cannot select like that, right? So I have my sample, it should, I mean, consist of both male and female students, okay? So for an example, I have mentioned here about, I think it's regarding the poll, yeah, poll questions. So in this case, group of 1,500 adults, US resident, 1,500 adults. So group of 1,500 from what? Adult US resident. Okay, so US resident. US resident, when you are reading this question, you should figure it out. Okay, what is the population and what's the sample? That's the basic thing. 1,500 is the group which I'm going to select, and what is the population? Entire US residents, right? So US residents are the population, and the 1,500 is my sample. Clear? I don't know what's that. Okay. When we are dealing with data, or let's say data set, what is the difference between data and data set? Sorry, I forgot to mention it. Data is just some kind of objects, but data set mean which means it is a collection of those objects. It's a collection of data. Okay, data set is a collection of data. Data set can be like 2 millions of data. Clear? Okay. Why this comes every time? Okay, so when we are dealing with data or data set, we have to talk about uh, a, a special guy we call variable. Okay, in mathematics we normally use variables. You know, the common variables, x is a variable, something like that. Same meaning. Okay, a variable which is some kind of object that can add so many instance or so many entries. Like for an example, okay, x is a variable. Let's say I'll define my x. Okay, x is a variable. It has these numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So X, it can be like sometime it is 1, sometime it is 2. Okay, it has these values. Clear? Okay, this is the simple basic idea of a variable. So uh, same as mathematics, we use variables here. It is an object we are using to assign to get values. Okay, it has a values, but don't worry, don't confuse with this. It can be, okay, those values can be numerical or non-numerical, like x. Okay, non-numerical one, let's say x, it is like eye colors. What are the eye colors? Black, uh, blue, something like that. Okay, so it can be numerical or non-numerical, that's fine. Okay, so univariate data, which means we have a single variable for our which mean our observations based on a single uh, I don't know what is this chat is going on. Anyway, so univariate data mean observation on single variable. Okay, so bivariate, just which mean based observations on each two variables, like x and y. Do you remember you plot graphs? This kind of graphs. This is x and this is y, right? So these are bivariate. If it is, I mean, we don't say trivariate, but if it is three dimension x, y, and z, something like that. Okay, they have values like 1, 2, 3, 4 in this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, okay. So x and y are variables. Multivariate. If we have more than two variables, we call it multivariable, multivariate, which means multi variables we have. So it can be thousands or sometime more than thousands. Okay, okay. Because in modern world we have data sets like they have sometimes millions of variables. Simply, okay. Think about a table and imagine the headers of those each columns: username, user ID, uh, their age, something like that. Okay, those are the variables. User, if you consider username, it has a bunch of names, right? So username is a variable. Okay, branch of statistics. There are two big branches in statistics. Uh, One is descriptive statistics. The other thing is inferential statistics. So this is the difference between descriptive and inferential statistics. So descriptive case, we just get a sample from the population and do our analysis and interpret about this sample only. Clear? So this is the descriptive analysis. So we do our analysis based on this sample and we do our conclusion only for that sample. Clear? Inferential statistic mean same idea. We get the sample from the population, do our analysis based on this sample, and we do our conclusion for the entire population based on that results. Clear? See the difference? Okay. Okay, I'll tell you again. Uh, I think I can take, okay, descriptive statistics, okay, or descriptive analysis. That's fine. We can use both words. Uh, in this case, we have our population. Okay, I'll draw my population here. This is my population. I'm taking a sample. Let's say this one. I'm analyzing this, do whatever, okay, analyzing, and uh, give a conclusion only for this sample. conclusion only for this sample. Clear? I don't know what happened in the population. I'm not going to consider what is in there and what happened. No, just focus on my sample. This one, inferential statistics, which mean, okay, let's say another sample, this one. Analyzing my sample, and I draw a conclusion about what? Draw a conclusion about my population, about the population. Clear? That's the difference. Okay. Normally we use these both, so time to time we can change it. It based on our interest. Okay. If we need to tell something about our population, then we can use inferential statistics. Otherwise, we can consider descriptive statistics. Okay. Okay. More details we will discuss, especially in this chapter. We are focusing on first one, descriptive statistics. But chapter, if I remember, yeah, 6, not 16. Chapter 6, we are talking about inferential statistics. Okay. Okay. This is okay. Let me check. This is the simple process. What I told you. Population, entire stuff I need to consider, like TTU students, all the TTU students, taking a sample from that population. So first, descriptive statistics. So this is my sample, and I draw conclusion. That's it. Draw conclusion about the sample. That's it. When we come to the inferential statistic, same thing. Same. You can use same sample. Doesn't matter. Sample. Do our analysis and draw a conclusion about population. Okay. That's the inferential statistics. Okay. There are one thing for sure I can say you, like nothing is certain. Okay. There is nothing in this world. We can say 100% it will happen. Clear? Everything is uncertain. Everything. So, I mean, everything is changing, right? So future, we cannot predict. Same thing. That's why we are talking about uncertainty in statistics. So we are dealing with this uncertainty. We try to get approximate results, okay, to avoid this uncertainty. But still, we have that uncertainty. So please keep that in your mind. Variation is everywhere. Yes, I don't know this one. I'm not going to talk about this. So that's why we introduce something called probability, which means possibility of happen, possibility to happen something. Okay, I mean there is a 25% chance to rain tonight, something like that. That's the possibility. That possibility we call probability in statistics. But I'll tell you here, probability, okay, probability is not a percentage. Probability is a number between 0 and 1. Clear? So probability is a number in between 0 and 1, including 0 and 1. Okay? 0 mean it cannot be happen. I mean, it never happened. 1 mean definitely happen. Right? Something like that. You will learn later. So to avoid that's the one technique we are using to avoid this uncertainty. And the other one is try to get the sample using random techniques. I mean, try to get the sample using randomness. Like there are so many things we can use to get the random number, like random number generators. If you Google it, you can find random number generators. It gives you random numbers between given range. Okay, something like that. I think a few years back, we used when I was uh, learning this statistic in my school, we used random number table. We have a table, so we can check the numbers. It is manual process. So right now, I don't think people use that. Simply, we can use our computer to get the random numbers. Okay, so that's how we get the random numbers to get the sampling. Okay, we'll see later how we get the sample. Okay, simple sampling process is simple random sampling. We call SRS. That's the basic one. That's the basic sampling technique. So every instance or every object in the particular data set has an equally chance to get into the sample. Okay, like in this row, I need to select five students. So each and every student has same probability or same what is it? Same chance to come here, something like that. Same chance to being selected. Clear? So that's the one thing when we are dealing with sample. You should remember that. Okay. Each and every instance in the sample in the population has a equally chance to being selected. Okay. So every possible sample of specific size has an equal chance of being selected. Yes. Okay. Every individual also has equal chance. That's what I told you. Okay. So you can select many samples as you wish. That's fine. Okay. But each and every sample, they have similar characteristics. Okay. They should consist of similar stuff, like each and every sample should like consist of both male and female. Okay. So one can select one sample, the other can select another sample. That's fine. This one, first column, left side column is a one sample, right hand side column is another sample. So you can see, I think age, right? Oh, age or weight losses. Okay. So you can see 30, 40s, 30s, I don't know, 40s, yeah, 30s, 20s. You can see in the left side as well as right hand side. There is a 42 here, but it's not there. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's just one or two inside. That can be like one sample consists of 41, 42. The other sample, it doesn't have like 40 values. That's possible. Okay, but we also try to avoid those things. But that can be happen because we are dealing with random stuff. Okay, when we are picking our instance or our objects randomly, this can be happen. Okay, here we have 42. There is no 40s in left hand side. That's possible, but we try to avoid that. Okay, as much as we can. But it can be. It is still there. Don't worry. So this is, I think, the example yeah. So the next sampling technique is stratified sampling. So in this stratified sampling, we try to pick the stratas, in simple words, groups. Okay, so you can see this black color box. This entire box is my sample, but inside the sample we have groups. Clear? I mean, if I draw my general picture, this is my sample. This sample has groups, something like that. Okay, here men and women. Okay, if I consider you guys, it can be male and female. Okay, but it is just a one sample. So this is another technique. So I just group female students into this side, male students into this side. Then I pick students randomly. Random is 5 students from female group, random 5 students from male group. So I have 5, 5, 10 sample. My sample size is 10. Clear? That's technique we call stratified sampling. Inside that stratified sampling, we can use SRS, simple random sampling. How I select a female student from this group? Using random sampling. Clear? Because that's why I told you simple random sampling is the basic sampling technique. Okay. I use simple random sampling to select female students and simple random sampling used to select male students. Clear? Okay. If you consider each group, or not group, each subgroup inside this stratified sampling, they have common characteristic. If you get that women box, they have common characteristic. Men, they have common characteristic. Sometimes they don't have common something in common. Men and women, sometimes they may have, but it's not necessary. They may have different characteristics. That's fine. They are two groups, but within our sample. Clear? Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, it is for to show you the difference. See the first one, first woman in the left hand side, and check this third man is very old, but the girl, I mean, not very that much old, right? That's what I told you. They may have different characteristics between groups, sorry, not groups, between these subgroups. Clear? It's possible, but we are considering everything for our sample. Clear? We have different objects or different instances in our sample. But anyway, it represents our population. Clear? We have old people, young people. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I just select just specific stuff. That's why. Okay. Clear? Don't think too much. Yes. Yeah. We have to uh, decide it before we use these techniques, right? Clear? How many instances should we add into our sample? How many groups? Everything we should decide in the first place. Clear? That based on our population. If we have 10 population, nothing to do with that. Okay. We have 1,000. We have to do something. Okay. Clear? Perfect. Uh, Poor sampling method I have mentioned here. It's like I cannot I cannot select my samples based on my own choices, right? If I need to measure students' height in Texas Tech University, I cannot select only men, okay? Only male students. It's biased, right? That's why I told you it should be unbiased sample, unbiased selection. That's we have mentioned here. Research sample, those are reality available. Okay, if let's say there are, uh, let's say my population is 1,000. I have voluntary people like 10 voluntary people. I can select that, yes, but still there's a problem, biasness, right? Voluntary, yes, it's good thing, but it doesn't represent the entire population. Clear? That's what they have. I mentioned here. Uh, Voluntarily is not. It can be a poor sampling method. This one. Okay. Researchers sample those who are really available. This one. It can be like as I mentioned. According to my choice, it is a bad thing. Okay. So we are trying to avoid those stuff.